Hello, it's time for another basic beer review. And I was in Aldi and I saw this. Now, look at this. I mean, if this is what it says there, I don't know if you see that. The Biere Millesimee, something like that. Biere Millesimee. Now, you don't walk past a bottle like that. I mean, come on. You see that wherever it is, whether it's in Aldi, whether it's in Home Bargains, whether it's in Waitrose booths, whatever. Bottle shop, you don't walk past a bottle like that. You really don't. It was with those big bottles they do, which I've had 2 of those so far, and there's one that looks like this, which I wasn't a massive fan of, and then there's the one that looks like a Biere de Garde, and which I was a big fan of. I don't think I've reviewed either of those on the channel though, but this is there as well. So this was there as well. The Biere Millesimee Cuvée Exceptionnelle Dry Hopped Beer, brewed in France by the sound of it. And it's a dry hopped beer, and it's just intriguing. It's just an interesting looking bottle, and you cannot walk past that anywhere. So let's crack it open. And I don't even know what colour this is going to be. I've no idea what, a dry hopped beer from France. I mean, I don't get that. I don't know that. Dry hopped, generally pale ales are dry hopped most of the time. I am really intrigued to find out what this is actually going to look like, what it's going to pour like, what kind of colour it's going to be. You know what? I could find out, couldn't I? So let's do that. Let's pour it in. Right, so it's kind of a lightish colour. We're getting... I might have to speed up a bit to get a bit of a head there. Oh, not a lot of a head there. It looks quite fizzy. It's kind of like a Leffe colour. It's kind of like an orangey amber. It's like an amber, really, isn't it? It's like an amber stroke burnt caramel kind of colour to it there. So let's say a little bit more about this. By the way, it's a 330ml bottle and it's 5.5%. I can't remember what this. I think it's about $1.99. This in Aldi, I think it was about $1.99. I'm gonna pretend it was $1.99 because I can't remember what it was now. I got it a bit ago. So yeah, virtually no head on the pour there, dissipating quickly. It's pouring a kind of an amber stroke, stroke like kind of caramel colour really. Should we see what it smells like? What am I expecting this to smell like? I'm just kind of expecting it to smell like a Biere de Garde, really, just because of the bottle, but it might not do, or just something like Lagaudale. Is it Lagaudale? Something like that. Yeah, I think it's the Lagaudale that you can get in bottles a bit like that. Right, here we go. Let's go for the nose. Oh, okay. So we're getting kind of like Belgian yeast on the nose there. That kind of like creamy, banana-y smell that you get with them. Well, this is really weird. So I've been getting like a kind of a black cherry. Or sort of like a sour cherry, really. Getting like kind of a sour cherry on the nose. Oh, we're getting something really strong. Getting kind of like blackcurrant. There's something really strong on the nose that's punching me in the face, and I can't quite get my head around what it is. That is a really odd aroma. It's a really pungent aroma, and I don't mean that in a bad way. It's like, I'm trying to think what that smells of. It's like quite a sweet smell. It's quite a bit. It's quite a bit of sour cherry there. Kind of like Bakewell tart, I suppose. That kind of Bakewell tart kind of smell. Yeah, we're getting almond. Getting cherry, getting Bakewell tart really, like a Bakewell tart but with sour cherries. Getting toffee, getting malt. It smells really complex actually. Now I don't know whether it'll be well balanced when I taste it. It does taste overly kind of Bakewell tarty, but we're not going to know unless we're going for the taste. So, cheers. So a lot of those smells don't translate into the flavour, really, which is not a bad thing, to be honest. Because the smell to me, seems very cherry and very kind of, vanilla and very almond. But on the taste, it's very different. It's very well carbonated, almost like those champagne yeast beers that you can get, almost like one of them. Unless this was brewed with champagne yeast, I don't know. I'd be very surprised if it was, because I know not a lot about beer, to be fair. So anyway, that's it. Good. No, it's nothing. Not really much information about the beer at all. Just adds to its intriguing charm, I suppose. Yeah. So on the taste, what are we getting then? So it's very refreshing. It's yeah, it's not giving a lot away on the flavour, actually, I won't lie. Yeah, it's not a sipper, but at 5.5% it won't be a sipper. Maybe I picked the wrong glass for this. It's more of just like a drinking beer. Yeah, it's a little bit bitter on the sides of your tongue there. Yeah, it's tasting a bit like a nice bitter, really. It's tasting like a nice bitter. Get a little bit of vanilla on the taste. Getting some of the malt on the taste. A little bit of toffee. But I say, weird, none of them cherries and berries smells that were coming in so strong on the nose are actually translating into the taste. It's just a relatively solid bitter, really. I mean, you know, I'm not going to lie. I mean, it wouldn't, you know, you don't expect a massive amount when you go to Aldi, really, sometimes. I mean, it can be a bit hit and miss. Some of the Aldi beers are great. Some of the Aldi beers are, like this one, a lot on the nose. But when it comes down to it, on the taste, it's really just a pretty ordinary bitter. If this came in like a 440ml can, and I just poured, like, you know, a full glass of this, and didn't smell it, and just drink it, then I'd be like, yeah, it's alright, it's passable. I'm getting a little bit of the fruitiness there as it warmed up then a bit. So there you go, it's a bit like a bitter with a little bit of a fruity edge. So yeah, so let's rate it, why not? So quality, again, it's nothing special. It's, I'd say, C+ for the quality, why not, let's give it that. It was $1.99 a bottle. I'd say possibly a little bit more than it's worth. So let's just say a solid C for the value. So there you go, solid C for the value. I'm going to drink the rest of this. Until next time, have a good one.